What's going on, people, and welcome back to Total War Spurs. Delay before we get into it. How are you, bro?
Yeah, nah. It's really been a shit couple of days or a day, after the result. We'll get into that shortly, but yeah, what can we say about that? But nah, look, everything else is good. Just apart from that.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Before we get into the video, make sure if you're watching, you smash a like and subscribe down the bottom. We want to try and push to get those 100 subscribers in the next before the end of the season. At least we're not going to be too over exaggerating, but we appreciate everyone that watches. Just hope you can hit that subscribe button soon for us. We enjoy what we do, and we also want you guys to enjoy what we do. So if you do enjoy it, smash that like and hit that subscribe button. But a lot has happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. Conte coming out in an outburst after the game. Everyone's talking. Everyone's. We'll get into the game first because I feel like it's the oldest, so we need to kind of think about the game. So I'm going to give you my opinion on the game. I felt like we had a very boring first half, but Porro showed really good signs down the right-hand side, obviously getting his goal. Could have got a couple more if the passes to him from the likes of Kulusevski was a bit better. He could have hit it on his favoured right foot, and I think he could have scored two. Big ups to Son for that quick one touch and pass through to Porro. Was pitch perfect. And Porro absolutely smashed it. So it was good seeing him, and it's really good seeing what Porro can bring. He's starting to hit a little bit of form, and he's looking so much better than Royal going forward. And he's not bad defensively. I will say there was not much trouble going down his side for the game. Harry Kane once again scoring when he needs to. It was a beautiful cross from, I think it was Kulu inch perfect cross. And then the third goal, great volley from Perisic for his first for us. That would have been a great day. After that, we'd call it quits. Would have gone home happy. But once again, we fucked it up, and the score ended 3-3. I've given you a kind of brief and abbreviation of the game, but bro, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, look, thought first half it was a bit boring, but we did look a little bit more lively than Southampton. We had a couple of glimpses, like Porro had a few shots. He was probably our best player that day. I wouldn't say anyone else. He was probably one of our best players that day. It was very upsetting. It was very upsetting to see our injuries go off. Davies and Richarlison.
Yeah,
early.
Completely forgot about that.
Richarlison all went off early. Like, wow, like that was. He looked a bit upset. I think he's either done it during the warm up or has it just been.
I heard it's a warm up injury, and they thought he could play him, and then within 4 minutes he was like, "No, it's gone." And he rightly pissed off. He had a great game last game. Should have had a goal to his name, and I think he really wanted to come out and push on.
Like he really wanted to, state that right hand side for himself. So, but it was very upsetting to see him go. Same with Davies, seeing him go off. Like, hopefully his injury is not that serious. He's really crucial to our team. He's one of those players we really desperately need on the left hand side. But yeah, I think you pretty much summed it. Porro getting that goal was beautiful. Switch for Sonny to pin the ball to Porro, seeing that gap. Like, Porro had so much room on that right hand side; it was crazy. But now it was a good strike by Porro. First goal for Tottenham, and then Kane always scoring on these big occasions, so it was good for him to score, get on the scoreboard as well. And yeah, Perisic, like I wouldn't say take my hat off to Perisic. He didn't have really a great game, but to get on the score sheet, that's probably good.
He took that shot well. You could say he took that shot well.
Took the shot well, but other than that, like he just he did really well to get that shot off. But other than that, I just don't know what happened.
I know what happened.
We just
got two fucking donkeys sitting at the back. Yeah. And I'm going to say it right now. Foster had a good game. Foster had a good game.
100% he had a good game.
The goals that we conceded were goals that should never have happened. falling asleep on the first goal. Who scored it for him?
Che Adams.
So Che Adams the ball just came into the box and he just towed it in. Romero should have got in front of him. Second goal, the defenders couldn't fucking clear it and the ball dropped to Walcott at fucking 5 yards out. Nothing Foster could do with that. And the third one, I'm not going to get into Saar because he tried to clear it. And I hate this rule that they have where if you're trying to kick the ball and someone comes in from an angle you can't see and you accidentally clip them, it's a fucking foul. You should know who's around you. He didn't even get fucking hit. Maitland-Niles, fucking Gooner, just flopped like he was fucking shot. Yeah. And boom, straight away. They reviewed it. Yeah. The ref didn't even go and look at the monitor. It's a fucking shambles, that third call for the third goal. Yeah. However, we didn't lose the game because of that.
We lost the game.
We were struggling. Defense. Our defense was fucking disgusting. And
they let
Dyer and Langley need to go.
Yeah. Yeah. They let Theo Walcott make him look silly.
The guy can't even run anymore. That's all he had was pace. He can't even run anymore.
And it's just like they made him look like a fucking, like a fucking Mbappe. Like fuck, he was just running the show. Like it's just so frustrating. And that's what I mean. And I agree with you. Dyer needs to go. Langley needs to go. I'm sick of this. We're looking at giving Eric Dyer a new contract. No. I don't want him to sign. He needs to fuck off.
Do you know what pisses me off, right? So after the game, Kulu came out and said, "This is all our fault. This is all our fault, right? We fucked it up. We fucked it."
Yep.
Dyer gets an interview. Do you know what Dyer says? We had a lot of chances up top. We really should have buried and scored more goals. He's deflecting. He's saying that the striker should have scored more goals. How about you fucking defend? You can't.
Yeah.
Sorry, 100%. I don't give a shit. I know it's YouTube, kids, whatever, excuse the language. But that pissed me off the most. Not the whole Conte shit. We'll get into that soon. But Dyer came out and said that we made mistakes, but we should have capitalised more on the possession and the amount of shots that we had. Hang on. The attack did their job. We scored 3 fucking goals. Mm-hmm. You didn't do your job.
No, they didn't. The whole defence was an absolute shambles.
No. It's the centre-backs. I think they, like, Perisic couldn't do much. Davies didn't really put much wrong. It was Langley and Dyer. And I'm going to add Morera in a little bit because I felt like he could have done more for the first goal. I felt like he could have got in front of Che Adams or at least got in front of the path. I felt like he let him go. Che Adams isn't fast. Walcott aren't fast. So these defenders should be moving. They're just fucking ball watching all the time. Foster had a couple of good saves. So I'm not going to get angry at him. There's nothing he could have done. Forster's been good. I keep saying Foster, but it's Forster. But disgusting. And then I felt like Højbjerg wasn't on it again. Skip does his usual running around. Skip did a few good passes, but, Skip wasn't amazing. He wasn't as good as he was the week before against Nottingham. And then Son provided assist, and he was taking pot shots, so Son's starting to slowly get back. Kane does what he does. But Charleston got injured, and I'm sorry he got injured because I felt like he was ready to fucking dominate. And when Kula came on, he took his time to come into the team. Yeah. However, great cross to provide, and he was cutting in. And I'm going to say it. I'm not going to blame Conte either for the loss because he did what every manager would have done in that situation by bringing Kulu off and bringing on Saar to strengthen up the midfield and taking Porro off and putting on Royal to shore up the defence.
Yes.
At that point, he did it right. So for me, Conte didn't get anything wrong. We were struck by injuries and the defence let us down today.
No, yeah, look, I agree with you. I think Conte did it. He would have done what any other manager. He would have done what Mourinho would do. Take off a forward to bring on an extra midfielder and take off, Porro to bring on Royal because he's defensively better. No, so I don't blame Conte, but look, I blame my players. I blame our defense, our midfield as well. The attack, the attack did what they could. They can only do what they can. But in saying that, if it's gonna win, you gotta win as a team. So for me, look, it was this stage. Midfield and defense, our attack was the strongest. So look, Dyer, Langley, they're just not what we want. I'm over them. I want them gone in the summer.
You know what the worst thing is though, bro? If we don't play those two, we've got Tanganga and Sanchez as backups. I like everyone loves Tanganga because he's Tottenham through and through. Not good enough. Sanchez has been good enough. since Poch, since we bought him. So we have to play these two. This is our best.
Why is he still here? Why is he still here?
And this is what leads into the next segment that we're going to get into in a minute. But I've got to give props to Southampton because they played a team of kids. Their team is like the youngest in the fucking league that they fielded yesterday.
And they made us look silly.
And especially the substitutions, they came on and they pressed and they ran their socks off because they're fighting to not get relegated. And that point was so important for them because it was an automatic. Everyone thought it was an automatic loss, and they were going to be 5 points on the bottom and probably relegated the next couple of games. So shout outs to Southampton. And big ups to Ward Prowse as well for taking it upon himself to take that penalty and burying it, because that's a lot of pressure for him, being Southampton through and through, and then having to try and score a penalty to make sure his team doesn't lose. Big ups to him.
Big ups to him,
But for me, Porro was man of the match. He was up and down that wing. He was attacking. And the thing is, he was trying to create, and was what I pointed out in the live stream of what I liked. He got the ball, wanted to do a first touch and go, give and go to Kulu. Unfortunately, they don't have that connection yet because they've only played like 1.5 games together. So they don't have that flowy connection where Son
that first cross he did to Son, that was
should have been a goal. Yeah, should have been a goal. Son should have buried that. That was pitch
If that
perfect.
was him last season, he would have buried that straight off the bat.
Someone have volleyed it fucking Scorpion last season. That's how much on form he was. Now, Son played well considering that he missed a few chances, but he got an assist and he was a threat the whole game. For me, I'm not going to rag on Sonny this game. I have been ragging on him a couple of weeks saying he needs to be dropped, but you know, at the moment he's slowly starting to pick up a little form. He's starting to look a little bit better, starting to get into games more, and I feel like that's Porro's, and it's Porro's and Davies. Davies on that left. When Perisic is there, Son's non-existent. You might as well, if you're going to bring on Perisic, you switch Son out straight away. There's no point playing him.
Yeah,
because
or you play the two. You get midfielder.
Or you play the two.
That means Perisic. Or you play the two up top.
Yeah.
I
think we've said all we've had to say about the game.
Not much more.
Like I said, Dyer needs to fucking check himself. The guy's a good bloke. You know, he's a very good role model for kids. But yeah, I don't even know how the fuck he made that. Tamori must be thinking that Southgate's racist or something, because Tamori is levels above Dyer. If I was England manager, Tamori would be the first defender on my list.
Yeah.
That's it. He's the best defender we have.
I don't know.
But going on to Conte, I'm not going to bring up the video. I'm not going to go through. I might go through some of his quotes. But everyone's seen it. If you haven't seen it, then you've been living under a rock. Now, the title will say what I'm about to say, and it's, does Conte call out the board or the players? Because I've read today that after Conte's had talks with the owners and the board, he's told them it was only about the players, had nothing to do with the board or the owners. Now, the words that he said can be interpreted both ways. Everyone thought it was about the board and the owner, but now it's confusing because obviously Conte's come out and said, or the journalists have come out and said Conte said it's not about the board, and it begs the question: what do you think? Who do you think he was calling out?
Well, there's been reports that there's been a few players. There's been a few players who don't like his mentality, the way he's approaches, or it's just his training. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. But I'm going to say it right now. You should have known that. If it was the players, you should have known that he was going to come in. When we signed him, he was going to be tough. So for me, the players, if they're whinging about his trainings, they need to seriously grow a pair because...
No, they need to fuck off. Because I know who it is. I know who it is. It's the Poch players. It's not Kane. It's not Son. Because they're the ones that are playing in weekend city. These are the elite players. It's the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, fucking Sessegnon. All these players that Poch bought all have been around before Conte that we haven't gotten rid of yet, that are stealing a fucking wage. Sanchez has been sitting on the bench for 3 years, is earning more than most of the other defenders in the fucking league out of the top 6.
Yeah.
You know, Tanganga probably doesn't because he's going to have to work harder. He can't get in. And you're right. Conte's like this. He will push players to the limit, and that's why he only works with the best. He only works with the elite because they have that mentality and that drive to win. And he said that the club hasn't won anything in 20 odd years. And that there everyone thought that he was having a shot. But then as he says after it, they always blame the manager and always blame the board. But what about the players? Now, I'm all for the players taking accountability. The likes of Dyer, who, like I said, before Conte had that rant, went onto the after match fucking interview and kind of made it out like the attack didn't do their job. You didn't do your job, you fucking big cunt, right? And you're right. I think Conte, these players need to grow up here, or they need to fuck off.
Yep, definitely, man. They seriously, if they have the mentality to withstand the Conte system, or to go along with Conte and how he likes to play the game, then fuck off. Seriously, we don't want you. We can bring up a youth and develop him into a Conte player. And it's very frustrating that some of these players, some of the senior players, like the Dyers, like the Sessions, like the Sanchez's, just all them kind of players who are, saying they're not getting any minutes or they're not getting any game time. You need to fucking show up to training, train hard, and then Conte might look at you. But if you don't do that, then seriously, you're going to be on the bench.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're going to be benched. That's it. Like, there's no way Conte's going to play you if you're not ready to perform or you're not doing well in training. It's just how Conte is. And these players really need to get reality checked.
I also think this outburst was coming. A lot of fans were asking for it, but now those same fans are whinging, saying, "Oh, you can't do that to the club. It's disgraceful. How dare you talk about your players like that?" No. Hang on, these are grown men. These are grown men getting paid shitloads of money, and they don't want to perform. And he's clearly stated and seen that half of them, if not most of them, do not want to win. They have the mentality of, "Oh, we'll just get a paycheck and everything will be easy." Now, if we were like that at work, we would be pulled in. We'd be given warnings. You need to pick up your game. You need to work harder because you're not doing enough. You're not doing what we expect. You're not doing what we're paying you to do. And if we didn't do it, we'd eventually get sacked. Difference is these players can sit there on their ass and do nothing. And I think the people that think I love that Conte's done this. However, there's one thing that he alluded to, and it's one thing that I wish he said, and he's grown in my eyes, but not enough. Yeah. He didn't admit his own mistakes. He didn't sit there and say, "I've fucked up too. I've made the wrong decision." And he said, "I've kept it quiet, but now I'm going to unload." He should have said, "I was following what the board wanted, but now I'm going to do what I want because I want to win." He didn't say that because he threw the fucking cup games. He's pretty much through the Champions League to stay top four. So if you're going to call out the board, if you're going to call out the owners, and you're going to call out the players, call out yourself as well, because you wanted to win, and you set out a weak team against Sheffield to try and beat Wolves on the weekend, and you lost fucking both.
Yeah. He takes the criticism as well. So look, you're right. He needs to take accountability for his actions too on the pitch as well. So I agree. Like, for him not to say it, it was pretty disappointing. But for him to call out the players and call out the board if it's true, I'm all for it because it needed to happen. We've been waiting for a manager to do this. Like, Mourinho didn't want to do it; he was too scared.
He slightly did it. Yeah. Mourinho slightly did it, but when he did it behind closed doors, boom, sacked. When you turn around and said to them, "No, I'm a winner. I'm going to win," they went, "Nah, see you later."
Exactly.
Because they get $2 million for FA Cup, but they get 100 mil for Champions League or 50 mil.
Exactly.
So of course, it's the mentality of the fucking board and the owner.
Exactly. So, and Poch will never do it. Poch is too loyal to the club and he was too honest. And Nuno, well, he really didn't get much to say. But for Conte to come out and say this about the players and the board, I was happy when he did that because it really needed to happen. And the players really need to hear what he had to say and what he thought. And some of the players won't like it, but it's reality. Yeah. If you're not what Conte wants, he's going to call you out. And I reckon he's been holding this for probably, maybe I think there was reports he was holding this till after the AC Milan game. He was holding all this.
What I think's happened, bro, is he's had a lot of personal turmoil in his life in the last year.
He has.
He's had, losing of Vetroni, and then Gianluca passed away, and he's been missing his family. So he's been thinking, and he's probably been sitting there going, I don't want to waste my life because I don't know when it's gonna be cut short. And he's sitting there thinking, I want to win as much as I can, and then I want to quit and spend as much time with my daughter, my wife, and my family for the rest of my life, right? So he's had that. He already had that mentality of I want to win. Now he's got the I want to win as much as I can, as soon as I can. That's why he's going to go in the summer. And this is why I think he outbursts, because he wants to get sacked. For me, I kind of don't want him to get sacked because I want to see him butt heads until the end of the season. And if he walks away, fair play. I want the board to be under as much pressure and have a manager speaking out as much as possible. But I also think all the personal things that's happened to him that's made him want to leave has also gone, you know what? Fuck this. These players need to realise that they've got 15, 16 years of their career. They need to want to win as much as possible. And if they're not good enough, then they need to realise that and either get better or they need to accept it and move somewhere else where they might win something. Now, there's nothing wrong with winning a lower league or winning a lower cup. So these players need to take what they can get. But for Conte's mentality, I applaud him for what he's done. But I also want him to take responsibility for his own mistakes, and he has made them this season. He's not untouchable. That's why we're calling for Conte out. I still don't like his the way he sets up, the way he plays. However, I do understand that he plays this certain way because we don't have the defenders, and to that, like yesterday, proved it. The reason why the whole season we played with a midfield 2 is because you can't trust these centre backs. He cannot trust them. He has to try and outscore the teams because we outscored Southampton today. And you know what's weird? They haven't scored 3 goals in 13 months. Guess what? Guess who the last team scored 3 against? Us. And it was at home. Yeah. So Southampton have got a number when it goes to scoring goals. And that's when they lost Danny Ings and stuff. So, look, I want to say I apologise for dropping the C word. I don't usually drop it on streams, but it's just Dyer's just fired me up so much because I've gone under the radar again. Like people are calling for Dyer to be dropped. However, his comment should have fired up the whole entire fan base because he pretty much, to me, it looked like he was blaming the fan base, blaming the strikers, for not scoring enough. We scored 3 fucking goals.
Yeah, he can't defend.
Him and Langley
he can't score a goal himself in like a fucking header.
I mean, so the amount of headers he's had this season, and he's just skyrocketed it because he's got a big ass head and it's round. Look, like I said, I like Dyer as a person. I follow him on Instagram, all that sort of stuff. He's a good guy, but he's not good enough to be in a top 6 team. He's not even good enough to be in a top 10 team. The likes of Connor Cody, James Tarkowski, fucking Dan Burns, fucking who's at Brighton? Fucking Lewis Dunk. These centre backs are better than him, and we have him at Tottenham trying to fight for top 4. And they're obviously Dunk's at Brighton, but Tarkowski's at fucking Everton. I'd take him any day.
Yeah. Nah, look, you're right, man. Like,
I'd take Mark over him, and Mark for Palace. I'd take Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson. I'll take Anderson for sure. We will.
I'd take Ogbonna from West Ham. Like, these are so many centre backs that we could have just picked and taken from someone lower. But instead we stuck with it. And that's the thing is the board, at the end of the day, right, as much as I can say Conte's fucked up, the players are fucked up, the board has fucked up because instead of giving him proper centre-backs, like we're going for Bastoni, he went and got Langley. You can't build a team around Langley. Langley was shit for the last 2 seasons. Just because he had a good couple of seasons at Seville does not mean he's going to come, and he was at Barcelona, doesn't mean he's a good player. There's a reason why they sold Royal. There's a reason why they sold Langley. They aren't going to sell their best players.
Well, Langley didn't even start for Barcelona, so
no.
I don't think that's what I mean.
And now he starts for us. You know who would have been better? You know who would have been better? And I've been calling for him since he was at Bournemouth, and then he went to Chelsea. Was fucking Nathan Ake.
Yeah,
you should have bought him before City got him. He's not the best centre back in the world, but he's a ball playing centre back. He can play left back or left centre back or CDM, and he starts for City.
Yeah,
he's starting next to Diaz.
Yeah. See, even that, we'll link with Diaz.
Yeah, and then we got fucking Joe Rodon. Because he put the money up. Because he was at I think he was at Benfica or something. And we went, we're not going to fork out the 45 mil for Diaz, so we're going to go and spend money on fucking Joe Rodon from Swansea.
Yeah. Look, I agree, man. Look, this whole situation is really fired us up, and after like the comments that Conte made, it made like the fan base think, oh, they want Conte out, and there are fans out there that are saying like, oh, he should be sacked. Yeah, he should, but I want him to stay because who are we going to replace him with?
If Poch comes into this, it's going to be. I don't want Poch coming back to this. I don't, because he's going to have more pressure than ever to win. He's going to have people going to him. You know what they're like. You know what Levy's like. He fucked you over last time. Why are you doing it? And what Levy will do is he'll give him. And the thing is, like, we spent 500 mil since Poch is gone. Why didn't Levy just say to Poch, okay, I'm going to get. And that's just transfers. That's without all the payouts. So we had to pay out Poch, had to pay out Mourinho, had to pay out Nuno, and he's paid. We've got 20 mil or 30 mil for Conte since we got him.
We're probably the only club that has paid out the most managers in the Premier League so far.
Our managers probably earn more than the fucking players do. If you think about it, the amount of times we've sacked the managers and spent on managers, we probably spent 100 mil on managers alone, let alone like wages or buying out their contracts. Then you add in the 500 mil for players since Poch left. That's 600 mil. That's what United have spent. You know what I mean? Like, we could have used that on Poch and said to Poch, here you go, mate. You did what you got. You deserve it. We're going to do a new rebuild, paying for a rebuild like you requested, and go from there. But we didn't. Yeah. We decided to get rid of him, and then we've gone down the winner route. And then I'm going to even say it, Paratici needs to be looked at, because out of all the transfers, he was lucky for 2 players. It was lucky that Kulu and Bentancur suited our system. Apart from that, who's been good for us? Forster's probably been the best one for us, and he was on a free, and we needed that backup. We didn't need Spence because Conte didn't want him, even though that's probably a Levy buy, but didn't want him. Didn't need Danjuma because we're not even fucking playing him. Conte didn't want him. Perisic was old as fuck. We could have got a better left wing back than Perisic, or one that suited our system more. We could have brought back Reguilon. Reguilon would fucking fit well in this system. I reckon we should have just sold fucking Cess and kept Reguilon if we're going to buy Perisic. Reguilon would have been fucking amazing this season. Who else did we buy? Basuma doesn't suit the system because he plays in the midfield 3, but we played midfield 2. Maybe Conte wanted him and said, you know what? If we bolster up the defense, I'm going to play midfield 3. Didn't bolster up the defense. Now we only played midfield 2. Basuma obviously is injured. Basuma gets pushed out. Who else did we fucking buy?
Obviously, Richarlison.
Well, no, Richarlison. 60 mil, not playing him in his right position. You could have went and got Harvey Barnes to cover Son on the left, and then Son could have rotated with Kane in the middle if he had to, and you could have had Harvey Barnes rotating with Son on the left. He would have cost about 40 mil. He's a much better player on the wings than Richarlison is. I'm not saying he's the be-all and end-all, but Harvey Barnes tore our fucking team apart last time we played him. You could have went and got Will Zaha. He's on his last year of his contract. You could have went and got someone young like Eze, or fucking... who's the other one for him?
Michael Olsen.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, you could have got Mark Gahey in the back. You could have went and got Anderson from Crystal Palace as a centre back, good centre back. We had we could have used that money for Richarlison for so much more. And I'm not saying I regret the Richarlison because I think he's going to come good, but we didn't need another attacker. We didn't need it. We had more.
I've been calling that we've been needing a centre attacking mid because we're going to creativity.
But the thing is, before the centre attacking mid, we would have needed, if we covered the centre backs and got Porro in straight away, right? And we didn't get Perisic in, and we recalled Reguilon back from loan. Our back 5 would have been someone. Even if we got one centre back and had Dyer in the middle. And I'm not saying Bastoni didn't want to leave, so I'm not saying Bastoni, but there's plenty of left-sided centre-backs out there that are better than Langley and Dyer. We could have got one of them at least for a good 40 mil, 45 mil. I would have sacrificed getting Richarlison to getting one of those.
Yeah.
Because that's what we needed. Now I realise that's what we need. Yes, because our centre-backs aren't good enough. And that's what Conte's identified. The back's not good enough, so he had to put more attackers on because he's like, I'm going to have to outscore teams. However, we don't have the transition in midfield because we don't have those type of players. We don't have a Casemiro and a Modric and a Kroos, those type of players that can play box to box. If you had if we went and got Casemiro and Eriksen in our midfield, we'd be fucking sitting second easy. I'm telling you, easy. because Casemiro would have covered like a dog and covered everything, and Eriksen would have provided the creativity, and we could have even played Bentancur, Højbjerg in the middle there, or Basuma, and we would have dominated in midfield.
Yeah.
We could have got Eriksen on three.
Yeah, exactly. We all called for it. We wanted him back. Conte wanted him back.
But the board
just
because the board just didn't want him back, and they're fucked because he wanted to leave, and I reckon they held a grudge because of that.
And that's what I'm saying. It starts from the top. It starts from the top to the bottom, and now we're all sitting here and saying that. Obviously, I'm Levy out, 100% Levy in.
I think we all are. I think right now there'll be. Well, the thing is there's a lot of fans that are delusional, and they're looking shut at Conte, going, "How dare you do this?" And at the end of the day, like, it comes down from the board. The board have treated us like a cash cow. All they've done is built infrastructure, and they've done what they've said. Everyone says, "Where's the plan?" They're enacting the plan. They built a multi-billion-dollar entertainment business, and what's going to happen? They will sell it to an American because they have the NFL and they have all the music, entertainment, and the boxing. So it's all tailored to the American market. So when someone buys it that's American, they can, I can get fucking, I can get Nelly coming and singing, I can get fucking the American artist to come sing at Tottenham Stadium. Oh, I can get the fucking, I don't know, fucking Patriots to come out and play at Tottenham. Oh, look at our football team. We can have it, and then they can market it over in America, and all of a sudden they've got tens of billions of more, not billions, more dollars coming in because the American market will rise because it will just promote Tottenham. But if they're not going to invest the money in the team, then like that's the thing. We're going to be the afterthought. We're just going to be one of its teams. We're not going to be the team that we should be. It's not like with Arsenal. They've got shares in Prime with KSI and Logan Paul. They're put everywhere, but they're still Arsenal. Their main entertainment is Arsenal. Ours, we've had like 8 or 9 different events apart from Tottenham this year alone.
Right now, we're still trying to find that DNA for ourselves. Arsenal have already found it, and look where they are now. They stick. They're
going to win the league. They're going to win the league. I'm telling you, they don't look like they're going to stop. It's going to take something crazy to stop them. And you know what? Fair play. And that's what I was going to say. That's why everyone's freaking out even more. We're sitting fourth, and usually we'd be sweet. Oh, we're playing shit, and we're still fourth. The reason why we're freaking out is because Arsenal have done what we should have done under Poch. Yep. They backed their manager. They let him do what he needed to do, and look how good they are now.
And that comes down to our board. The board just didn't trust Poch. Don't trust Mourinho. Don't trust Conte. If they don't trust any of them, who the hell are they going to trust? Ryan Mason?
No, bring in Vincent Kompany, watch him fucking speak out, get sacked in 6 months, give him a payout because he deserves it, and then let him go and coach someone like Crystal Palace because Vieira got the sack, which Crystal Palace is stupid for that. But you're right. Who's going to come when they look at the club now? They've seen Conte, one of the he's probably one of the better managers of the last 10 years. Won a fair few, won big leagues. He's won the Italian league. He's won in the English. Actually, he's won twice in the Italian, I should say, with different teams. He's coached good teams. So why would they come to us when Conte's like, I can't get what I need out of him? Why would the only managers that will come are the likes of like Thomas Frank, Stephen Cooper, those managers that want to take the step up in their managerial career, they'll come to us.
That's what it's like for us at the moment.
We're a stepping stone. Stone. We're not, we've got 2 world-class managers in Mourinho and Conte. Well, what world-class is quite used loosely on Conte for me. I feel like he needs to have another dynamic in his formations to be able to be called world-class. However, they couldn't get it. And then you got Poch, which is one of the best up-and-coming young managers, couldn't get anything. So why would any manager want to come to us?
I don't know, man. And that's what I mean. We're in a shambles run now. This whole club's in a shambles from top to bottom. And Conte's said, we haven't won anything in 15 years. This is the reason why. The players, the board.
He said 20. He said 20.
I said 20, sorry. He said 20 years. It's the players, the board, from top to bottom, we got no DNA. We don't know what we're doing. Our recruitment's shite. The youth. Like we just got
There's
nothing
nothing.
going
There's
for us.
nothing coming out of our youth either. That's the problem. There's
No.
nothing coming out of our youth because they're not. We've changed the formula of our football team, our DNA from attacking free flowing football on the pitch, which was there for 6 years, and the youth players had that. They had it instilled in the youth to play like that. Then those players are reaching 18, 19 now that were 12 or 11 or 12 then. And Conte's going, no, they don't suit the system. I don't need them. So what was the point? We need to stick to one mentality, one ethos, one style of play where our youth can slot in. And our youth aren't even getting a chance. You're telling me that you can't bring back fucking Dane Scarlett and give him a go? Mourinho gave him a go. Mourinho's notorious for not playing youth players.
Yeah.
Mourinho thought it was good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So look, from top, I'll say it again. From top to bottom, we are a shambles, and
It's embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing.
it is. We sit here in Australia, wake up early hours in the morning to watch that shamble of a team, and don't perform well. When they perform, we give them the credit, but when they don't perform, we whip them to them because we deserve more, and we've been waiting so long for a trophy, and we almost got our hands on one. But Conte didn't play the players we needed to play to win that game against Sheffield United, and now it's another year, no trophy. Manager's gonna be sacked. I'm saying right now, Conte's gonna go, and where do we go from there? Like, where do we go from there? I literally don't know.
The only good thing is, bro, we've got 2 weeks until our next game.
I don't even want to think about the next 2 weeks.
We've got Everton away. It's international break, so we get to watch Southgate ball. But before we wrap this up, I want to say, if you're watching and you've reached the end and you've listened to me rant for half an hour, please like and subscribe to the channel. We have started streaming on our Twitch. Total Osspurs at Twitch. We will be starting to load the VODs up onto YouTube over the coming week or so. We are playing a bit of FIFA, but due to the fact that a few of us play PC, it's a bit harder to get to FIFA. So if we are going to be playing FIFA, we'll be throwing in some Rocket League in there, and we've got our own little. If you don't know what Rocket League is, football with cars. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to throw some of that in there. We'll be streaming a couple of nights a week, hopefully. And we'll be streaming that over on Twitch. And like I said, I'll get the VODs out onto the YouTube as soon as I can. Before we wrap it up, bro, anything else you want to add? Or do you want to just call it and enjoy your night instead of talking about Tottenham?
I'll say something. I'm so glad to not fucking watch Tottenham for the next 2 weeks. Not fucking stressing out, not waking up early hours in the morning, actually go watch some Southgate. I'm
not watching Southgate, boy. I'll tell you that. I'm going to enjoy my 2 weeks of sleeping in, not getting up early on a Sunday morning or a Monday morning. But we might even not be able to do a live watch along for the next game. It's the 4th of April. It's 5 a.m. in the morning on a Tuesday, so we might not even be available for that one, guys. But we will let you know closer to the date. Cheers, D, for coming on. Cheers, I appreciate it. I appreciate them letting me rant, and I appreciate you telling us how you feel. Smash a like and subscribe to the channel. Have a good night. Hopefully Tottenham doesn't bother you for the next 2 weeks. And as we always say here at Total Spurs, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.